afternoon. This is Bird Talk Show and Bird Podcast. I would like to let you know that I'm thankful to be here today. I got a special guest on my show, a legend, a great man, a special man. I'm honored to be in his presence. I thank him for coming in and sharing a big light with me. I just want you to know, man, I love you, and I thank you for coming on. This is a great, great man from D12, Swifty McVay. Thank you for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me, man. Love you too, my brother.
Thank you. I'm
Yes,
glad
sir.
we cheering, we
Much
tipping
love.
our hats off to each other.
Much love.
I just want to let you know that you've been a great part of Detroit. I've been following you since I've been doing what I'm doing. And I just want you to know that you're always welcome to come on Bird Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
And today is going to be a great day. We finna talk about some good things, some better things about Detroit.
Word.
What can we do to build Detroit? And how things been going with you?
Things been going good. You know, blessed, man. Just trying to keep the work ethic strong. You know, I'm trying to stick with the times in hip hop. That is, you know, everything is so fast paced. Your work ethic got to be much more stronger. But just trying to stay in the lane and not getting everybody's lane, but at the end of the day, get my job done so I can be able to continue to open up doors and bring others. You know what I'm saying? And so sticking together, man. To answer your question, man, if we can just kind of just mind our business and stay positive and make sure you build your house before you let people in it, you know, I think this will help better the whole situation, as you asked. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I think I'm building a better house now for where I'm coming from. To these two great men, Nail and Swag. I've been in the streets for a long time, and it came to a place that I had to come and do something different, dealing with society nowadays. And this house I'm trying to build, I want it to be a big house where I won't have to be looking over my shoulder, worrying about the police and all this. So what can we do to get our black men, as like myself, to come out and do better things?
It's all about, in my opinion, it's all about your mindset, man. You gotta change your whole mindset on how you look at situations, man. If we can just kind of just look at ourselves and accountability, you know, be humble and being accountable for our actions and realizing that we have to change first before we can actually step in there to do things different for other people in other situations. A lot of people don't want to look at themselves and be held accountable for the things that they need to change within them before they go off and do things, man. So looking at yourself and changing your ways and realizing that we have to be 100% positive and changing the things we need to get together within us, then we can step out and be a light to other people. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I agree with that because I came from the Diggs Project, the Bruce's and the Jeffries, all of them was right there. So I seen a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that once I started getting in my mindset to change my life, when he told me some years ago, look, this is what you need to be doing, stop doing that. And it just came to a time that I stopped doing what I was doing. And now I'm more focused on this because this all I've been talking about. It's Boosie. I ain't gonna lie. I want a Boosie on my show, and it's gonna take place. And I'm glad you stepped up to come before Boosie did. But It is what it is. But like I say, we have to change the things to make our lives better. And I think I'm going into the right direction messing with Nail and Swag because they've been covering me. They've been putting their oil on me. I ain't slipping and sliding because the oil they put on me is not the type of slippery and slide oil. But even with my girlfriend, Shauna, back there, she been a great light to me, even though it's ups and downs, but every relationship like that. But I thank God for that young lady. She been special to me, and she just grow with me.
That's a blessing.
And I just thank her little pretty butt back there. I have to say that because, like I say, she's my strength, she's my light. And without a good woman, a man ain't gonna change. She's not. But I got another question I want to ask you. Where did Dirty Dozen?
Dirty Dozen?
Yeah, where that come from?
Dirty Dozen. Dirty Dozen was created by the late Proof. Rest in peace to Big Proof, man. We were all in the hip hop shop. Hip hop shop was an open mic that we all met at back in the days, back in the early '90s. I actually met one of the D12 members at the old Grand Quarters back on Grand Boulevard before they shut it down. And then the hip hop shop opened maybe like 2 years later, maybe like '92. So it was an open mic. It was also a clothing store. So everybody used to go in there to get clothes during the week. But on Saturdays, it was an open mic from 3 to 6. So everybody used to rock the mic. They had the DJ throwing on instrumentals. Proof was the host. So out of 2 years, we developed all of the elite MCs would come in there every week. So Proof decided to get like a Detroit all-star team that was similar to Wu-Tang, because Wu-Tang Clan at that time was just the ultimate Avengers of hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And I was looking somewhere. It was more than just, what, the 6 of y'all?
It ended up 6 of us, but at first,
like about 12. Okay,
it was 12 people.
Yeah.
And, you know, MCs came and went, but when he started it off, he whispered in the elite MC's ears, was like, yo, I'm starting something called D12, Dirty Dozen. If you want to be in it, you can be in it. So I wasn't in it at first, but I actually had a chance to see it formulate. And it started off with 12 people. And then that's what D12 stands for, Dirty Dozen.
Okay, that's what's up. Rest in peace and proof.
Yeah.
When he left us, how did you feel about him leaving us at that time?
I was in a dark place, dog. Just real dark place, man. Didn't really give a hell about life no more. You know what I'm saying? I was on probation at the time, and I just did stuff to put myself deeper into the system, depressed. You know what I'm saying? I was in a real dark place because it just happened so unexpectedly, and things we had plans to do big things. We did some things that was a blessing, but we had plans to do bigger things. And at such a young age, man, it just hit me like a light. So I was like I could say that was one of the darkest moments of my life is when he passed, man. Things I went through after that. You know, I had to bounce back. It took me a minute, you know what I'm saying, to bounce back mentally.
Yeah, so at that time, you say you was in a dark place. How did you whirl your way back up to the top?
Well, you know what, man? I was on probation at that time, and you know, I wasn't supposed to drink. I wasn't supposed to smoke. So when he passed, I was like, fuck it. I didn't give a damn. I was drinking or whatever. So when it was time for me to take a piss test and I broke my probation, you know, I ended up going to jail. And it was so crazy is I went to jail the day after his funeral. You know what I'm saying? So me being in jail, man, away from everything, I think it was like a gift and curse. Because you're good? Oh, okay. No, unfortunate as it was for me to be inside jail, I actually had a chance to self-reflect and do a little soul searching. You know what I'm saying? I was out the spotlight, away from the world, wasn't able to talk to the hip-hop community like that, you know, so I had a lot of time to myself to think and reflect on the things that I'd done and the things that I needed to do. So God worked in mysterious ways, and as negative as it was for me to be up in there, I needed to be away from everything at that moment, because it ain't no telling how I would have reacted or what I would have done if I was still out in the world in that mindset after he passed. Because remember, I went in there right after the funeral, so I had a chance to get away from everything. So I just had time to think, man, about what I wanted to do and reflect, and I think that was the blessing of it all, that I was able to do that inside of there. So when I came back, man, I kind of just put a lot of things away and behind me and kind of started over a little bit mentally. You know what I'm saying?
The day that I had talked to you, wow, that was a door for me open to hearing you talk on the other end of the phone with meeting you today.
Yeah.
Man, you know, you brought tears to my eyes, just like these two great men. That's how I know when God is working in my life, because he shows me things. I be getting up 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, can't go back to sleep. That's how I come up with this, because God was telling me, I want you to take a different road. And I was laying in the bed and I just heard BirdTV, I heard Bird Podcast, and I heard other things. And I called Cuz and I said, Cuz, he said, don't talk no more, let's do it. And it's coming to action now. But I want to thank you for lighting me the day that we talked, because you did the same 2 things these men did. And the cry is not no bad tears, they good tears, because I see myself coming up.
Right.
And I want you to be a part of Bird, the real Bird.
Right.
And I want you to formulate something that I call finna come with. It's called Bird Feeding Detroit. And I want you to be a part of that.
Word.
With these other 2 great men. And I'm telling you, the things that God be showing me, that's why I'm sticking with it. And I believe Feeding Detroit is going to open a lot of doors for other people. And I want you to be a great part of that. And we'll talk about that a little later. But I have another question. In 2018, D12 broke up. What was the reason why?
Well, D12 kind of was going through ups and downs when Proof died. When Proof died in 2006, we went through our sabbatical. We had to build ourselves back up. 2008, one of the group members decided he wanted to continue to do beats. So, besides M, it was 4 of us. And then Con Artist, he wanted to be a producer because he started off as a producer anyway before he became a rapper. So he was like, man, I want to go ahead and sell beats, whatever. I want to concentrate on the production side. So that just left 3 of us. So we ended up touring again. 3 of us was touring. 3 of us was doing mixtapes, whatever. So Bizarre, he ended up getting another solo deal. So he decided he wanted to do something solo. And it just left me and Kaniva together. So me and Kaniva looking like, wow, okay, well, you can't bring a horse to the water and make him drink. Y'all go ahead and do your thing. Bizarre ended up coming back to the group, and it ended up being a 3-man group again. We touring, doing mixtapes and things of that nature. So he ended up doing something solo again. So it was always this thing to where Con Artist and Bizarre wanted to be in it, but didn't want to be in it. Wanted to be in it, didn't want to. And at the same time, M sitting back as our brother, looking back like, okay, well, I'm here. The label is here. Y'all get it together. We'll be here whenever y'all ready to do something or whatnot. But after so long of them not wanting to be in that Voltron with us to get that brand popping the way it needed to be, I guess M was just looking like, yo, it's over. But me and Kaniva looking at it and said, D12 is never over because we're holding the brand on our back, even if it's just him and me. So you say it's over, but that doesn't mean it's over for us. So the fans probably look to say D12 over. So me and Kaniva looking like, nah. So we got material that we drop, videos, and the brand is still strong because of us holding the brand on our back. And when they ready to come here and do some more stuff, doors is open. You know what I'm saying? So I guess everybody need their time to do things when they want to do it, whatever. So I wouldn't say D12 is broke up, but it is. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to look at D12 as a 2-man group, that's what it is. But the brand is never over. You know what I'm saying?
I was out and I was talking to people about my podcast, and I had told them that a member of D12 was coming. I'm a member of D12 was coming, and they was talking about Eminem. They say Eminem don't give back to Detroit. What is your reception of that?
Well, Eminem gave back to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? He came back and got us. We are from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? We were able to open up doors for people in Detroit. He brought Hollywood to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? He brought a restaurant to Detroit. I mean, I can't see what else people would want him to do. He signed. I'm from 7 Mile, Illinois. You know what I'm saying? 2 of the guys from D12 is from Hoover, 7 Mile. Other one's from 7 Mile Stout. That's the heart of Detroit right there. You know what I'm saying? Right. Gave us opportunities to give opportunities to others. Brought 8 Mile to Detroit. He brought auditions and built a platform for people in the city to see how it felt to be in a movie set and whatnot. I mean, he's still here in Detroit. He didn't move out of Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So I beg to differ.
All right. Is Eminem coming up with any other type of projects that you know of?
Eminem stays working, man. He's a workaholic, so he's gonna always drop music. Us as artists is always that zone, especially if you are artists living in your truth and you present the truth, your life to the world, and then sometimes you might feel like it's nothing else to talk about or whatever. But then out the clear blue sky, that inspiration hits you like a light. It's just something that happens, and he's gonna always bring music out, man. The passion inside of him is never gonna allow him to stop. You know what I'm saying? So,
What? Can you talk about your new project that's coming out?
I actually just dropped a project called Detroit Life 2. This is a part 2 to a project I dropped a year ago called Detroit Life, and it's representing a clothing brand that I have with Chris Reynolds, man, called Detroit Life. And Detroit Life is in the mall of Parchers Creek on Hall Road. So I just wanted to go ahead and bring light to the brand by expressing it through music. I'm a Detroiter. I represent Detroit everywhere we go. Even the people who's not from Detroit but from Michigan go out of town and say, "Hey, I'm from Detroit." So we always repping Detroit Life wherever we go, even if we from the outskirts. So that's what I wanted to bring to the table with the project. So that just dropped January 16th. So that's streaming everywhere.
Okay, now I feel what you're saying too, because I can go somewhere and they be like, "You from Detroit?" I be like, "Yeah, how you tell?" And my wife be like, "Your hat, babe. I always rock my hats. I ain't got one on today, but I rock my Detroit. I'm it's in me."
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying about going somewhere and you just be known about you from Detroit.
Yeah.
And my partner Swag got some questions for you.
Okay.
Slide around, Swag.
Word up.
At this point in time, where are you at in your life?
Where am I at in my life mentally?
Yes, sir.
I'm a family man. I'm focusing on, making sure that my youngest child, grows up where he's able to adapt and take care of himself right now. I'm at a point right now where I feel like I always thought life was short, but as I'm got older, life is really short, man. You gotta put things in its right perspective right now. I take everything serious. Like, I always walk around and almost like I don't have time, but I do. You know what I'm saying? So I think everything is important to put things in its right perspective right now to set up the generational wealth, or making sure my child is set up, or making sure my wife and everybody is good, because you never know when you go leave this earth. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to make sure you prepare yourself and make sure everything is good for the people you love. So that's the mindset I'm in right now, as a man. Yeah.
What steps are you taking specifically? Can you give us some examples of the steps that you are taking to establish that generational wealth, or, for those who's listening who might want to piggyback or get some ideas off of what you're establishing and want to take that same road?
Not only am I saving, trying to make everything that I do flourish business wise, I'm empowering my whole circle, my children, even my older children that's in their 20s. I'm trying to empower everybody, and that's the whole focus is to empower you to the best of my ability. So when I leave this earth, you know exactly what to do and how to do it, and to create a legacy to when people say, "Yo, he was this light. He used this light that shined while he was here." That's my whole goal. You know what I'm saying? I've did all I've done, so now it's time to be a light for others. You know what I'm saying?
What, in regards to your son, who have you give your son to, or put up under to be a good counsel to him, to make sure that if anything was to happen or anything that you're creating, that he have someone he can go to continue in that path?
I'm blessed to have I have a pastor. I have a pastor that I trust. I have a church home family. He has godparents, loving godparents. He has more than one godparent. So me, I've just been blessed to have people around that I can trust, that will be able, that knows us well enough to say, "You know what, you're gonna be okay." You know what I'm saying? And I made sure I established that. Me and my wife established that while we're here. So if anything was to happen, you know, they'll be able to, you know, do what they need to do. Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what Bird asked in regards to D12. Now, you saying that the brand is still holding and standing strong or whatnot, whether if some of your partners are in it or not. You ever thought about stepping outside of those individuals and pulling in new artists to create a larger and bigger D12 or some individuals from Detroit?
No.
Why is that?
It's just something that we never thought about. I guess the authenticity of what D12 stands for, man. I'm not saying that it can never happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just that when you have so many guys in a group that stood for something and it kind of withered the way it withered, I guess we're concentrating on bringing the brand back to the way it needs to be first. And when we're comfortable in that, maybe we might. But at this moment, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that, well, you can't put a time frame on your expansion. Would you consider that a form of crab in a barrel situation? Because we have a lot of good artists from the city, and as of right now, you're at a point like, well, you know, we're not accepting any newcomers, but they say that, you know, we work together, we might be able to build a bigger and better brand together. We have, you know, in Detroit, we have a lot of good talent, you know, and you yourself might have some different connections and different avenues, and that can help another artist reach their level of potential. And so would you look at that as being kind of like withdrawing?
No. I guess when you asked the question, I guess I kind of looked at it as me setting up a record label and signing artists and things of that nature. I've did that before. You know, it was good, some was bad. I actually did that a couple times in my career. And I'm not trying to do nothing on that level at the moment, but as far as working with artists and seeing what we can do to build together musically or even in movies or whatever, I'm all for it. You know, but I guess I kind of looked at your question as far as bringing artists in, saying, "Hey, I'm going to sign you." No, I'm not in that space. But as far as working with artists and building and collabs, I'm always down for collabs. I'm always down to do albums with artists, EPs, or whatever the case may be. I'm always open-minded to that.
Okay.
Yeah. On that.
Have you took that step as of yet?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have anyone that you might want to shout out to or bring light to?
You know what? Me and my homeboy MRK, he's a Detroit native. We just did an album together called Long Story Longer. We teamed up with Razzcast and Yuck Mouth from LA. You know, I've collabed with Stretch Money. Big shout out to Stretch Money. Mr. Wrong from the Raw Collection. It's, you know, it's open. You know what I'm saying? We all mess with the same producers, so I might run into a lot of Detroit artists that mess with the producers I mess with, and we might do songs together. I might jump in their videos. And it's open. The opportunity is open. If somebody say, "Hey, let's do an EP together" or something, and it makes sense or whatnot, I'm always open-minded for it. You know what I'm saying? So, but collaborating and, you know, getting into the zone with these artists, this is the season for it. So, you know, I'm not closed-minded to it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that the music industry or the sound has changed. Can you explain how you are different from a lot of artists that's coming out of Detroit nowadays?
With a lot of artists from Detroit, I guess it's just you know, we the Great Lakes, man, so we get a mixture of everything. So you got some artists that's lyrical, and you got some artists that's not lyrical. You know, I come from a cloth of lyricism. You know what I'm saying? So if I see an artist that's not as lyrical as I would want them to be, I'm still open-minded to see the authenticity and what they bring to the table. I just don't dismiss it. You know what I'm saying? Or whatnot. But I'm open-minded enough to know that, hip hop goes through different phases. And if I see some originality, I can appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're not as lyrical as I would want them to be, I still can be open and minded enough to accept the originality in them and see the goodness in what they're bringing to the table and why people like them. Like, my mind is open, man. I'm not just one of those like, no, man, you got a song like this, because I've been rapping since 6 years old, so I've seen hip hop change over the years and whatnot. So I'm at a point in my life right now to where I can accept artists for who they are, and if I see that they're being respected, I step in and try to dig in and see why. And try to find goodness and greatness out of what they're bringing to the table. I just don't shut it out and say, man, you're not lyrical, man, go on. You know what I'm saying?
With that being said, what is a strategy or a technique that you use to say, hey, this guy is a hit writer, or he's the next big thing? Or because back then we still have a lot of underground music. So how do you figure out who's the next hot thing? Or is it hard to distinguish?
Not really. Well, with me, what I look for is delivery. The delivery has to hit. Originality. I like originality. Lyricism, man. They have to have something to where, because like hip hop stands for rhythm and poetry. So when you listen to somebody do poems, they say things metaphorically and things in a way that make you say, damn, did you hear what he said? Like, damn, that was clever. Oh, wow, I like the way he put that together. It kind of make you think. That's what it's all about. So if they're bringing that type of thing to the table, something in me sparks like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, he a natural. He got it. These are the things that I pretty much look for in artists that bring that type of stuff to the table. So originality, the delivery, lyricism, meaning that they can put rhymes together without being lazy about it. Like, the syllables and the rhymes, the way they rhymes connect has a lot to do with how they concentrate on writing material. I look for all that type of stuff too. It's not no lazy form of writing just to be writing. You got to really, really dig deep into connecting rhyme patterns. You know what I'm saying? Well, however style you bring in, make sure that them rhymes connect. That's just how I think, as an artist. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. We know we got some great rappers. I go back to Run DMC, Houdini, Fat Boys, Curtis Blow, Dougie Fresh, some of the greats. How can we stop the rap roots that's coming in now? The young men that want to be seen, far as in rappers, killing, shooting. How can we really deal with this?
You talking about as far as how can we get the artists to stop like incorporating that type of lifestyle or whatever? Well, shoot, man. To be honest, every rapper that raps about that type of stuff is not in that lifestyle. I'll give you an example. Like, I came up on listening to Rakim. And just like I was just expressing the metaphor as far as hip hop is concerned, when you thinking about metaphorically, he said a magnum is a microphone murdering MCs. This is what he said back in the late 80s, early 90s.
You sounded good saying that. You might have to do that.
He said a magnum is a microphone murdering MCs. So I used to look at that and say, okay, my words are the bullets, my mouth is the clip, metaphorically. You know what I'm saying? So being in Detroit, watching the lifestyle of others around me, incorporating that metaphorically into a style of battle rap, that's how I came up. So that doesn't necessarily mean just because I rap hardcore lyrics that I'm literally out here doing the do. But then again, you got the cats out here who really live that life, who understands what I'm saying right now and still incorporating and feel like you ain't real if you're not really, really doing what you're talking about or whatnot. So I I can say everybody is not on that tip, man. We are a product of our environment, man, and we express our views based off of what we seen. You know what I'm saying? Our slang, who we was around growing up or whatnot or whatever, man. So as long as hip hop, as long as artists know that rap goes through different phases, and you don't stay in a phase for too long, you gotta be able to excel and shift, and not be afraid to reinvent yourself, because you got it's maturity. You know what I'm saying? And everybody hits that level of maturity at different times, man. So teach them not how to be so closed-minded. You know what I'm saying? And just know that there's much more out there than just this phase. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want to thank you, because we don't have that much time now. I want to thank you for coming on my show. And like I said, we welcome you anytime to come on. You can bring some of your boys. We want to just do this thing and grow. I would like for you to just sit in with me, and we ask other people questions about their future and what they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Man, no, thank you.
And I want you to come back.
Absolutely. Please, hey, let me know. It'll be my pleasure. I feel like we got more meat and potatoes to put out here, too.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You know
what can we find you at?
You can find me. I'm mostly on the gram. Instagram, McVay D12. That's MCVAY D12. Same with the Twitter, MCVAY D12. And you can catch me on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Swifty D12. And it's really me on the gram. I'm posting my own pictures. I don't have people surveillancing my gram or whatnot. A little different for the Facebook, but on the gram you can holler at me on all the updates and things of that nature. And if you want some D12 merch and things of that nature, you can go to allthingsd12.com. And if you want some of this Detroit Life gear, you can go to DetroitLifeGear.com and come holler at me at the Mall of Parchers Creek to the Detroit Life store if you want some of this gear. We got shirts, hats, pants, flannels. We got the whole nine.